Okay, well, and now you can see the bird. Well, about prepositions, as you know, just so you know, I only want to talk about at, on, and in. So
Yes.
how and where. So you know that. So when it comes to place, okay, so in is more general. So the most general is in. Of course, we have the same thing for time. So the first one, the first use of in to talk about a place that is inside a bigger space. For example, when we say box or a house or city or country. For example, the clothes are in the wardrobe or in the park or, for example, in the US. Okay,
Yeah.
so first one, when we talk about, for example, a place that is inside a bigger place or a space, so like, you know, such as box or something like this. And we use in with physical locations. So just let me type them on the board. It's not bad. Maybe later, if you forget, you can check the recording. Okay, so from the beginning, so that is in, okay, to talk about a place that is inside a bigger space, such as box, house, or etc. So you know
Yes.
this. Yeah, so in the wardrobe. And so as I told you, for physical locations, okay, so with physical locations. So what is that? For example, we can say in the word, in water, in the sea, in river, in lake. Okay, so there are physical locations. Or for example, for car or taxi, small vehicles, we use in. Okay,
Yes.
and for mountains, countryside, valley, forest, so all them, okay, come with in. So
Yes.
in the mountain, in the countryside, in valley or forest. So we use with physical locations. This is the second one. Now on. So it's too general, as I told you, to be used for specific and special places. So on, the first for surface, like on the desk, on the floor, on the table. So on surface. So on the desk, on the floor, on the table, and of course for social media, internet, for example, TV, we use on for mobile phone because in means inside something.
Yes.
So on, okay, so that is different. And of course for public transport. So public transport, we use on. So on the bus, or for example, on the plane, or for example, on the train. So we use on. Well,
Yes.
and especially also it can be used for lines, like for example, rivers, borders, streets, so lines and islands. So
Yes.
for example, on the river, on, for example, street, okay, on the border of, so we use on for lines, including borders, rivers, streets, and etc. So, and of course, islands. So if you have an island, you should say on the island,
Yes.
okay? Well,
Yes.
and at, we can say the most specific, okay? So first of all, when you actually, some common phrases. So we know common phrases, for example, work, home, okay, and place, but specific. Okay, so to talk about places for specific activities, we use at. I'm at work. I'm working at home today, at school. So for places, for specific activities. So at, for places, for specific activities. So this is about, for example, school. You know that is used for education. Home,
Yeah.
belief, supermarket, for example, party, for example. So specific. Okay, and when you're giving address, okay, but for exact position. For
Yes.
example, I live at 15, for example, Craig Street, at 15. Or for example, I am sitting at the desk. So this is exact position of me. I'm, for example, waiting at the entrance. So for exact position. So it can be anywhere. So where you are now, right now. So for example, when I say I am at school, you are talking about your exact position. For example, please sit at the back of the room. At. So I'm giving you an exact position. So I use at, okay? This is about places. Now, you know that we use at, on, or in for time or time period. So when it's really general, we use in. So you know that, in year. And first of all, about at, because it's really specific. As I told you, the most specific one is at. So when you want to give, for example, clock time, or for example, meal time, use at 6, you know that I'm not going to talk about it. Or for example, some specific phrases like weekend, at the weekend, at night. Of course, you can also say on, but never say in the weekend. That is something that, maybe people sometimes use by mistake, but please avoid using in the weekend. At
Yes.
is the best one, at night. But let me say something. Uh, at night and the night. Here we have a difference. So when we say at night, okay, we mean all of the night, okay?
Yes.
But when we say in the night, actually we mean specific time during the night. For example, um, I work at night means just night, all of
Yes.
the night. But for example, babies wake up in the night, specific time in the night. So if you mean specific, let me write here. This one is really important. So about at night. Okay. So when you mean all of the night. In the night when you want to talk about specific time during the night. So, for example, I work at night and the baby wakes up in the night. So they're different, usable, but they're different. Okay. Well, and now, so you know that for holidays, vacations, and occasions, we use at Christmas. For example, we can say at Vietnamese New Year. So at for some like holidays, or for example, especially with several days. When we have vacation with several days, we use at. For Christmas, for New Year, so we use at. So first for clock time, and for breaks and meal time, like lunch time, breakfast time, break time. And for example, for weekend and of course occasions like something like vacations. Okay, this is
Yes.
out. In. So in is used with first of the day and longer periods of time, such as month, seasons, years, as I told you. For example, I usually relax in the evening. So this is a period, longer period, or parts of a day. So
Yes.
part, yeah, so say in or in summer. So we know that in December. So long for month, years, we use in, and for part of day, like in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. So morning, evening, they're part of day. And so for decades, for centuries, for years, we use in the 80s, in, for example, 2020,
Yes.
in the, for example, 21st century. So we use in. And for example, with time phrases in the past, in the future. Okay, for example, in the last few years or month. So for other time phrases, we use in. And the last one, that is on. So it's a bit more specific. Days and dates. For example, on Friday, you know that. On, for example, 16 October. So days and dates. If you add, for example, in July, but on 30 July. So when I add date, make it more specific, I use on the 2nd of August. So I use on. Okay, so I think this is all about. So this one, of course, there may be some other. I need to think about it. But if you have any questions related to these,
No, I don't.
okay, of course, very good. Well, and now let's get started with the topic of today. So, what is that? So, the problem again, maybe another issue that, of course, we discussed about environmental problems, that one of them is lack of clean and pure water, drinkable or potable water. Potable means drinkable, but we don't say
Yes.
drinkable, we say potable. For example, something that is eatable and you can eat it is edible. So
Yes.
this food is edible, okay, eatable. And okay, tell me, something that is touchable is,
Touchable is something that you can touch.
of course, but we don't say touchable, we say tangible.
Tangible.
Yeah, of course. So tangible, edible. So they're a bit different. But for example, when you want to say water is drink, is actually is to be able to drink. So we don't say it's drinkable. We say potable. And the
Yes.
problem in the word is actually lack of water. So yeah. And tell me, first of all, what do you think if you have, this issue, if you're facing this uh, issue in your country, so or no, about, for example, having enough clean water to be so to drink, or no, or green spaces, if you are facing these type of issues in your country.
Um. Right now, we are not facing to this issue in my country because we can make a whole system to regenerate the water and energy. So basically, we don't face to this problem, not right now. But when I
Yeah.
think when we have some disaster in the future, we probably can meet these problems.
Yeah, of course, of course. Well, so, uh, but why? So, first of all, do you think one day we actually, maybe we will run out of clean water?
Um, this, I believe yes, some days in the future, but right now we can turn the water that we waste in all day become the clean water. So
Yeah,
I think they can make it the time that the water became the, they can make the time that we face to the lack of water in the future will longer, like we
Yeah,
will have more water. So it's obviously that even we can recycle the
yeah.
water, the waste water, but
Recy-
there will.
yeah, recycle the waste. So I can't get what you mean. So you mean something polluted water to be used again?
Yes.
We need to filter. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, something like
Oh
purify,
yeah.
clean. Yeah, of course, and clean so that we can use it again. So
Yes.
of course, it can be a good choice. But and I think maybe yeah, I think technology or science can help us to
Yes.
do something like this. Yeah, maybe in the future. So we need to, yes, maybe purify water, polluted water in order to use it again. But I think we need to help actually to this water cycle. So the process of maybe creating, making water. So of
Yes.
course, global warming, climate change. So every day we are making, I think we're causing some troubles to the environment. So that one of
Yes.
them so, for example, do you remember that we discussed, if you remember, one of the actually maybe damages that, the ways that we damage the environment is to actually dump illegally. Illegal dumping that is putting our waste into the sea. So, of course, this is the way that we are polluting water. So
Yes.
we are killing so creatures. So yes, we need to. And well, the first word, okay, scarcity, and the adjective is scarce. So with scarcity is situation like lack. If I want to give you
Yes.
a definition, this lack, okay, the scarcity of job opportunities leads to increase in the unemployment rate in big cities. So what do you think? Big cities, actually, I want to ask you, rural life or urban life? So which one? Okay, yeah, yes, lack of enough job, maybe job positions lead and something like leads to, I don't know, increasing something like um, unemployment rates. And
Yes.
but which area you think urban, big cities? I want to ask you this question: in big cities or no? You think no, in maybe some countryside, maybe.
I think this is normal because when the labor sources when the labor sources in the big city are increasing every day, and but the job is not, so the lack of job is happen. So you
Yeah,
can meet unemployed people, and
yeah,
even they can make the homeless people at the street is too much, even
yeah,
in your country or in my country. But
yeah,
in a rural area, we can find something that relevant to agriculture, that
yeah,
we can base on that and make money
yeah,
from that. But problem here is you cannot fit you cannot face to with you cannot live with some technology, something that modern that can
yeah,
helpful in your lives. you,
yeah,
you only can live in something that was just a normal,
yeah,
some basic lifestyle. So yes, I think
yeah.
so. That's why a lot of people move to the city.
Yeah, of course. So it's like, not only I think the scarcity of experts, another maybe. So experts, working force, as you said, as you mentioned. So yeah, of course, the first one, experts. If we have enough experts, so people who are skilled, so or no, so this is the first one. And sometimes actually this one can be another working force people. So we don't have lack of actually peoples who are experts, who are knowledgeable, so we don't have. So maybe, so
Yeah.
because of this, not only lack or scarcity of job positions or opportunities. So of course, when it comes to some countries like, I don't know, unfortunately Africa, so we have So we will watch a video because it's not bad. So let's talk about it then. Okay, this one, accessible. So you know that, reachable.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, in order to encourage people to read more books, the library should be accessible to all readers. Of course, thanks to technology and internet. Now, everything, so all the resources, materials are accessible, and you can easily access to what you want whenever, wherever. So, tell me, I want to ask you, do you think it's better to improve or maybe online facilities or something like so that people can, for example, reach or can have access to online sources and materials easily? Or no, you think some traditional like physical places, okay, we need to go to the library to focus on something and to read? Which one would you prefer? Improving and developing online maybe facilities, or no, physical and traditional methods?
Yeah, so we need to consider to both side of these things because when we use some ebook, I can say that ebook, it's quite easy for it to access to every single of the book of a version of some novel or something like that, and you can read the whole intelligence of the world in over 2,000 years, and it's quite easy for you to read. But traditional book is something that can maintain the intelligence of the humanities quite simple because over 2,000 years we use physical printed book, and it is kind of the things that we can maintain and protect the intelligence, protect the knowledge that we can experience a lot of time. So let the important things like knowledge, like uh knowledge, intelligence of the humanity inside something that based on energy, like a ebook, like a laptop, like an iPad. And the problem is when we lost electricity, we have
Yeah,
nothing to read, and we have nothing to discover about,
yeah,
especially is when these doomsday come and everything just become back in the age stone. So
yeah.
book so I still prefer books.
Yeah, printed books, of course. So
Yeah,
yeah, I do agree
printed
with you.
books.
I do agree with you. However, so we say that they are, yeah, some benefits, maybe something like advantages of using ebooks, for example, or reading online. We actually have some side effects, maybe, and side effects. Okay, so yeah, of course, so reading online can have some side effects where maybe sometimes, or I don't know, physical health, like for example eyes or something like this. And yes, printed books, tangible books, so you can feel, you can touch something that you're reading. So I
Yes,
think it's a better relation connection, so you
yes,
make a close connection with what you read. So I do prefer, of course, I do prefer this method, printed books. So maybe a bit old school, but I'm a big fan of printed and traditional methods.
yes,
Well, so accessible, another word that is adjective, and access is verb. You know this, okay? And sustain, this is verb, and we have sustainable. Sustainable, that is adjective. For example, sustainable energy, really good one. So you know that sustain means to cause or allow something to continue for a period of
yes,
time. So people are afraid that agriculture will soon fail to sustain the food demand for the world's growing population. Yeah, of course. Maybe we need to have sustainable, okay, maybe resources. So what is that? About this one, for example, do you remember that we talked about solar panels or solar energy, wind, okay? So they are renewable.
Yes.
So they are renewable. So sustainable is something like, for example, resources that can maintain current operation without maybe damaging, destroying, without, for example, the energy needs or climate or food. So there is no damage with sustainable energy. And they
Yes.
can be replaced, they can be renewed. So like they are renewable. So what do you think about this one? This sentence, people are afraid. Do you think really one day agriculture won't be able to sustain the food demands in the world?
Listen, I think if everybody keep focusing on urbanization and industrialization, sometimes there will lack of the land to grow food and something like that. But I still believe that there will be some country in the world that still focus on making agriculture to export food and export some 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 food like that and
Yeah,
focus on doing that to make money. Like in my country, we focus on growing wheat, you know that rice.
rice. Of
Yes,
course,
we're growing
rice.
a lot of rice to export it to another country to balance the urbanization and agriculture. So so I think the this problem could be happen in the future, but it take a lot of time. Maybe 2 more 100 years, and we will face it. Or there is a war happened, and all the land, the earth will be like pollute, and we don't have anything to plant food, and we will
Yeah,
lose all of them. So I think
just
so.
yeah, just you said weed. You mean this one?
Yeah, weeds.
Yeah, because weed, that it's kind of drug. So I was like, yeah, really? You're growing
Oh,
weed? Yeah. So
I th-
it was like, what was that?
because
So
because
you know that.
when
So yeah.
because when I playing some games, they
Yeah,
say that
you know that
some
any wild, of course, any wild plant that grows in unwanted place is called weed. So it's okay. But
yes.
in slang we have we use it as rock. So it was like, yeah, really? That's good. It's cool. Okay. Well, so it's not good really. So with smoking, when it comes to smoking, it's not really good. But why? Okay. So so sustainable, renewable. So that, yeah, of course. And actually, industry, service, and agriculture. So these three actually sectors are playing really important role in actually countries' economies. Like, for example, they contribute actually they have significant contribution in economies, especially nowadays. So when it comes to service and industry, not agriculture. So I know that in 1960, many years ago, if I want to actually rate them from the highest, for example, or the greatest significance to the lowest, agriculture was at the first step, at the highest
Yes.
level. But after that, step by step, we see that industry actually could reach the
Yes.
point that agriculture reached, for example, many years ago. Now, actually, I think industry has the first word and, for example, is the most important sector. So maybe in the future, because of this, maybe in the future, because of lack of water, or for example field so
Yes.
suitable, appropriate. So, I watched a documentary like from North Korea,
Yes.
and I was, yeah, really, I want to know. It was film. It was not real, or it was real. You can't imagine. I don't know if you watched. some documentaries or heard about, because I heard about their leader, like crazy one as our leader. Of course, I'm talking about Trump. So I wanted to know because I wanted to know. Okay, but so I was like, when I watched the video, it was like maybe, I don't know, you can't imagine the condition, the situation, the people, and they don't. That actually the point is here. They don't have any idea about what is going on in their country because they don't have any idea about the world. So
Yes.
I don't know. Wow, it was like, I don't know, it was too sad, but at the
Uh,
same time shocking, I can say.
yes.
Yeah, you can't believe that people leave. As sometimes we have, okay, economy is not good, economical, for example, I don't know, economical situation is not good, okay, acceptable. Some people, I don't know, live in poverty, it's okay. But how some people in the world live in modern world, and just with the border with South Korea, that we know that, okay, so it's modern, for example, sophisticated. So how these people live without knowing anything about the world around them, and they don't have any issue, any problem with the situation. Do you know anything
Yes.
about it? Do you know anything
Be-
about it?
Because I think in North Korea, the season they have a very very strong faith to their leader, to their
Yeah.
president. So they keep trust him, and they can even, I believe they can sacrifice for him too. I see that at the good things, but when we do it too much, we don't let their country meet the outside world. So we normally can be like slowed down and left behind of the whole world.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because in North Korea they don't public the numbers of their economy or their military or anything. They
Yeah,
just
of
be silent
course.
every time, every
Everything
day.
is secret. Yeah, of course.
Yes.
No one knows. So that's really weird. I don't know. Strange, weird. Well, and this one, so this word to fill something up again, replenish. So, and we have another one that is deplete, like opposite. So to reduce and to fill. So replenish, to fill something up again. Due to the increasing demand, tea and coffee needs replenishing immediately. So of course. So, but unfortunately, about non-renewable resources, we are not able to replenish. So
Yes.
we need to save them. Yeah, of course, if we can create something, it's okay. But if no, it's better to save. And deplete, empty, reduce something in size or amount. Okay? Yeah, this one. What do you think about? I watched another. So, as you know, I'm a big fan of documentaries, so especially Natural Geographic and some other documentaries about, I don't know, environment and something like this. And I watched another video about uh, something like fishing, but a large, huge amount. I think it was really Chinese, I don't know, it's people are related to China, and intensive, you know, that was unbelievable amount of fish. So,
Yes.
and yeah, that area really were depleted. So nothing, there was nothing. And I don't know, maybe in the future we won't have sea creatures to eat. In the
No, I
future,
don't
people,
think,
yeah,
because China is some country they can use their money and technology to regenerate the fish in the sea, and they have a very strict and severe law to punish the illegal
yeah.
fishing person. You know that?
Just one. Wait. Hold on. So you said to regenerate fish, like they want to create something.
No,
What?
they I read some documentary that they can use a laboratory and use
Oh,
some
yeah.
biology things to I can say the word regenerate fish. Yeah, so they can make the fish become full again in the sea or in the lake, so that when you come to China, you will meet the natural. Everything was perfect. Nothing was damaged by industrial or urbanization, nothing. Just I
Wow.
believe it's Chinese something was wonderful about the natural because the law, the strict law about the natural, they very good. The
Yeah.
problems, I think that the video you see maybe in Vietnam because in Vietnam we probably we don't care about this one because they're
Oh,
fishing a lot in the sea and our facilities I have to say that we don't have a good facilities at China, so we
oh,
can like a fishing near in the land, not far
oh,
away. So
oh,
time by time the fish out there was depleted and nothing left. So
oh, of
so I think
course.
so,
Yeah.
and
So you
especially.
think the video was related to Vietnam? So you think? So it was not related to China? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not sure, but it was really horrible video. It was really horrible.
Yes,
That number. It was like wow. Just I think these may be unbelievable school of fishes, like and that area, yeah, really. And after that,
yes,
you couldn't see any creatures in that area. Just okay. So for what? I don't know. So like maybe it was another country. I'm not sure about it, but it was not good at all. So maybe yes, I think we are depleting all resources, or for example, I don't know, stocks. So I think livestock, not only fish stocks, live, any
yes,
livestocks, yeah, are being depleted by human. So I think,
yes.
well, as you can see, these words scarcity, accessible, sustain, and replenish and deplete. So, are they clear? Do you have any issues related to the use of this word and sentences? I try to talk about them, but if you have any issues, it's time to ask.
No, I don't have any issue with this word.
Okay, very good. And now let's see if we have a video. Just one moment. If no, I need to use my magic to find another one. Okay, 21. Yep. Okay. We're running out. So the first one, let's see what is that. And then, okay, one moment. So let me share my screen again.
From space, our planet appears to be more ocean than Earth. But despite the water covering 71% of the planet's surface, more than half the world's population endures extreme water scarcity for at least 1 month a year. And current estimates predict that by 2040, up to 20 more countries could be experiencing water shortages. Taken together, these bleak statistics raise a startling question. Are we running out of clean water? Well, yes and no. At a planetary scale, Earth can't run out of fresh water thanks to the water cycle, a system that continuously produces and recycles water, morphing it from vapor to liquid to ice as it circulates around the globe. So this isn't really a question of how much water there is, but of how much of it is accessible to us. 97% of Earth's liquid is salt water, too loaded with minerals for humans to drink or use in agriculture. Of the remaining 3% of potentially usable fresh water, more than 2/3 is frozen in ice caps and glaciers. That leaves less than 1% available for sustaining all life on Earth, spread across our planet in rivers, lakes, underground aquifers, ground ice, and permafrost. It's these sources of water that are being rapidly depleted by humans, but slowly replenished by rain and snowfall. And this limited supply isn't distributed evenly around the globe. Diverse climates and geography provide some regions with more rainfall and natural water sources, while other areas have geographic features that make transporting water much more difficult. And supplying the infrastructure and energy it would take to move water across these regions is extremely expensive. In many of these water-poor areas, as well as some with greater access to water, humanity is guzzling up the local water supply faster than it can be replenished. And when more quickly renewed sources can't meet the demand, we start pumping it out of our finite underground reserves. Of Earth's 37 major underground reservoirs, 21 are on track to be irreversibly emptied. So while it's true that our planet isn't actually losing water, we are depleting the water sources we rely on at an unsustainable pace. This might seem surprising. After all, on average, people only drink about 2 liters of water a day. But water plays a hidden role in our daily lives, and in that same 24 hours, most people will actually consume an estimated 3,000 liters of water. In fact, household water, which we use to drink, cook, and clean, accounts for only 3.6% of humanity's water consumption. Another 4.4% goes to the wide range of factories which make the products we buy each day. But the remaining 92% of our water consumption is all spent on a single industry: agriculture. Our farms drain the equivalent of 3.3 billion Olympic-sized swimming pools every year. All of it swallowed up by crops and livestock to feed Earth's growing population. Agriculture currently covers 37% of Earth's land area, posing the biggest threat to our regional water supplies. And yet, it's also a necessity. So how do we limit agriculture's thirst while still feeding those who rely on it? Farmers are already finding ingenious ways to reduce their impact, like using special irrigation techniques to grow more crop per drop and breeding new crops that are less thirsty. Other industries are following suit, adopting production processes that reuse and recycle water. On a personal level, reducing food waste is the first step to reducing water use, since 1/3 of the food that leaves farms is currently wasted or thrown away. You might also want to consider eating less water-intensive foods like shelled nuts and red meat. Adopting a vegetarian lifestyle could reduce up to 1/3 of your water footprint. Our planet may never run out of water, but it doesn't have to for individuals to go thirsty. Solving this local problem requires a global solution, and small day-to-day decisions can affect reservoirs around the world. So where will these global solutions come from, and how can we humans, famously set in our ways, make sure these changes stick? Lucky for us, a generation of young people is already committed to a cleaner, greener future, and many of them are sharing their innovative ideas through TED-Ed's Student Voice program. If you're under 18 and think you might have an idea worth sharing, sign up to gain access to our free curriculum.
Well, so just let's talk about vegetarian culture. So I
Yes.
think they are causing a big damage to our water resources. So because of agriculture. So actually, let me share. According to the video, what do you think? One day human needs to stop and find another way to plant something like crops or vegetables or to grow vegetables without water.
I believe find a method to grow vegetable with the water is something was impossible because the basic things of the living things in the earth is water. So we cannot use that way. I think we focus on growing vegetable by using water is something very necessary because you know that water after we 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 use for agriculture they will go to the earth the dirt and they will have a circle to become the cloud and drain back. So I believe the water that I think that the water we use for agriculture, basically they don't disappear at all. But the problem here is the smoke that comes from the factory will pollute the cloud and and make the acid rain. You know that, and make
Of
the dirt become
course.
pollute, and we lost a lot of water. So obviously, we need to. The first method is we need to put the rural area far away from the urban area, especially with the industrial zone. So
Yeah, of
yes, that
course.
is the first step that we can do to save water.
Yeah, of course, I do agree with you. Just, living things, living creatures, livestock, of course, is usable. You know that livestock, like for example, some domestic animals that, actually in an agricultural setting. So we know that they produce milk or, for example, egg, like domestic animals. So we have like sheep, cows, or I don't know, we use their leather wool. And, but you, of course, living creatures. So we and actually, I want to ask you another question. So that is really important. So, at the beginning of the video, just we heard that, okay, yes, when we actually watch and see our planets from the galaxy, we see that actually planets, full and covered with water. Why can't we use this water, you think, as potable and water? So why you think? Because this is a damage. This is actually danger because ice, icebergs are melting in South and North Pole. So, but what is the issue? We have water and we don't have water. What do you think?
Because the water that we see out of space is the soul water. A lot of soul in there, and we cannot drink it. Is so we if you want to drink, we have to use a lot of energy to make it become the poor water for drinking, and we will eliminate soul from them. But this quite costs a lot of money and make the environment more polluted. So that's why we have and don't have water.
Yeah, well, maybe one day they have to. We have to do it. We don't know.
Yes,
So maybe one day we need to find some ways. So,
yes,
and you know that need makes people creative. So I think maybe one day, if we need, we have to, and we will. Okay, so according to the video, what is the major use of water? Of course,
um for as remember is for a normal life.
agricultural, no. The
Oh,
major use of water, yeah, of course, because of this 92%. Only 3.6% for, I don't know, something like domestic purposes like drinking, cooking, or something like this. And 4.4, if I'm right, so I'm not sure about this, but for example, for the all the uses, like for example, manufacturing and making products, but 92% for agriculture purposes. That is really huge. So because of this, I asked you if one day we need to stop and we need to find actually another alternative. So that is like, so agricultural and of course industrial purposes like recreation and creating electricity. So of course nowadays we are having some alternatives like solar panels and wind. So it's good. Well, and what factors make it difficult for people in many regions to get access to clean water? So can you do you remember according to the video? So geographical features or pollution and natural features. So which one? Like drought.
uh, I think it was geography feature.
Of course. Now, of course. When you don't have enough rain,
Yes,
so
it's quite
annual
hard.
rain, of course. So how? So you need to transfer water from other countries or other regions to your country. It costs a huge amount, of course. And yeah, I do agree with you. So not pollution, maybe, or
Teacher.
drought. Actually, is it maybe natural features and disasters, like for example, drought. So they are the result and consequences of maybe geographical features. So when you don't get enough rain, a lot of rain, or for example, yearly rain, of course, you will face these maybe natural and we can say natural features. Well, and now,
Teacher,
yes, dear.
um, I have to say this, but I still apologize that
Of
can
course,
we end early in 5 minutes
of
because I
course.
have to check
No,
out the hotels.
no, it's okay. No, it's of course. Why not? Of course, just take your. I don't want to take your time. Take care and have a great time. So we can go now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
No, sure, it's okay. It's really normal. Goodbye.
Yes,
First,
goodbye.
bye.
Thank you very much.
You're
Goodbye.
welcome. Goodbye.